my Facebook, y'all. Turn the camera around on Periscope. So I hope you all can see me now. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I feel like I'm lopsided from my Facebook. Okay, I hope that's better. I know sometimes you all say you only can see half of my face. So I'm dealing with 2 different cameras, 2 different devices, 2 different platforms. So I try to do both every day. But good morning to you all. I'm going to hot right. Hey, Uncle Willie. Y'all say good morning to me so I can see who I actually have with me. Hey, Titania, good morning to you. Who else is there? It's saying that I have a few viewers. Hey, Chuck. How are you? Good morning. Who else do I have on Facebook with me? Good morning, Joanne. I was talking about the Vegas trip, the girls' Vegas trip on Saturday. So I don't know. I'm thinking about going. I'm not sure yet, but I will let you know. I know y'all are going to have a really good time, so I want to have a good time too. So I might be on that trip, Joanne. Good morning to you all. I'm good, Chuck. How are you? And where are you staying now? Are you in Rochester or have you moved away? Who else do I have? Hey, Dr. May, you made it with me live. Good morning. Good morning to you. Hey, Nina. I missed you and your cooking. Thanksgiving coming up too. Hey, Josh. Good morning. Good morning to you. Who else do I have with me on Facebook? I'm trying to see who else I have on Periscope. Good morning to you all. I'm loving this new thing on Periscope where it shows the pictures of some of the viewers that you have. You still in Rochester and you doing good. Good, Chuck. I'm glad to hear that. I'll have to check you out next time I come up there, which I'm not sure when that's going to be. Probably, definitely not by the end of the year because we're going into cold weather and I don't like to be reminded of Rochester's weather. So maybe sometime next spring or summer I may be up there. Who knows? So good morning to you all. I'm not sure. It's saying that I have some more people with me on Periscope as well as Facebook, but I'm not sure who those people are. So if you have joined me this morning, good morning to you all. If you are on Periscope, go ahead and invite your followers and share on Facebook and Twitter. I will be so appreciative of that. And if you can give lots of hearts, tap the screen, lots of hearts. I have not been reminding, check my inbox. Okay, Nina, I'll check it. I have not been reminding you all about the hearts on Periscope. I don't know why. Usually some people that always come on with me, you know, they'll give hearts, especially if they like something that I'm saying because they're used to it. Oh, look at all the love on Facebook. Yes. Dr. May, you in Jersey? Oh, okay, I didn't know that you were traveling. Safe travels back home. Take care there. Good morning. Hope speaks. Peace. Good morning to you all. All the hearts and all. I love you all. I missed my number. Can I have yours? Okay. I got to have my block ministry on today, I see, for Periscope, for the foolishness. Okay. S. Jean, good morning to you all from Miami. So I have Jersey, New York, Miami viewing with me this morning, North Carolina, Atlanta. Thank you all so much for joining me. So I told you what to do if you're on Periscope. If you're on Facebook, if you would subscribe to me on my live feeds, that way each time I come on, you are able, thank you, Josh. Each time I come on, you're able to see my videos so you don't miss out on anything. So if you're on Facebook, that's what you are to do. And you're viewing from Texas, Leola, good morning to you. Clearwater, Florida, good morning. All up the East Coast today. I love it. I love it. I love it. If you are on Facebook as well, if you will go ahead and share the video at the end of the live feed, that way you can go back and you can rewatch it, and you can share with those that you're connected to on Facebook as well. So I really hope that something I'm going to say today is going to help you all. I just want to do a brief recap, and then actually today I wanted to do follow-up questions. A lot of times I'll always put a post out there on Facebook and Instagram saying, hey, if you have any questions in regards to any Topic Tuesdays or just anything that I post, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to answer those questions. Most times I answer those questions offline, but I wanted to give an opportunity just in case some of you all had some similar questions. I want to go ahead and answer some of those questions today, so I'll go over a few. Most times I have already answered them offline. There were a few people I said, hey, I'm going to answer your questions on Topic Tuesday, so I hope that they're tuning in. If not, you can definitely watch the replay on Facebook as well as Periscope. So that's what we're going to be doing today, some follow-up questions. So just a quick recap, the last couple weeks, and if you have not looked at any of these Topic Tuesday videos, they are available on my blog, on my website, TramikaCraddock.com. Just go to my website. I have a blog page, and you can see all the videos since we started on this topic. I believe this is the 5th video. So we talked about organizing and just being organized in your life, in areas of your life that you're in day to day, so that it can help you balance your day-to-day life better. So that's what we originally started talking about, and I mentioned a few things like, making sure your bedroom is organized, your closet, your bathroom, your kitchen, your living room, just certain areas in your house that you're in every day, so that way you can flow efficiently through those rooms from day to day. So I just got a text, but from one of my clients. But so that's what we talked about, and that was about 4 to 5 weeks ago. And then I went into, for the last 3 weeks, I went into breaking down planning for your week, because one of the things that we talked about is we have to start putting things on a schedule. In order to flow efficiently through our day-to-day lives, we have to have some type of plan, whether it's a full laid out plan or you're just looking ahead at what's to come for the week. We have to have some type of plan in place. And then once we have a plan in place, what are some areas that we really need to key in on to make sure that we're scheduling and planning for those areas? So good morning, Jimmy. Those particular areas was our food and our meal prepping. Like I said, everyone has to eat. That's a big part of our lives. So we talked about that. We talked about different strategies and tips surrounding about planning in that particular area. And then we talked about, the last thing we talked about last week was chores and making sure you have me time to make sure you replenish, you refresh, so that you can go into your next week. The middle topic that we talked about is just planning around for your business, for the entrepreneurs. And then if you do happen to work a job, whether it's 9 to 5, 10 to 7, whatever your hours are, just planning around those particular hours. So those were the 3 subjects that we talked about. And I put a few follow-up posts. For example, on my blog, you may find a follow-up post about the dinner days. And that was to go a little bit further into the meal prepping and planning for your meals for the week. I put up a post about snacks. I have children, so if you are a mother and you have to do snack prepping, that will save you a lot of time and a lot of money, where you're not just, oh, let me just pick this up from the convenience store or the gas station just so they'll have a snack for the next day. If you actually plan ahead. And I remember putting out a post saying planning will bless your life, and it will. Planning will bless your life. You'll be so surprised at how much you'll get accomplished if you just attempt to plan. And again, some things that I talked about, you won't always be perfect when it comes to planning these things out. I'm not even perfect. I know a lot of people call me a planning queen, and I love to plan. That's one of the things that I do, and as a profession. And I'll go into that, just a little bit more about me. But that's one of the things that I do as a profession. So I love to plan. I could plan in my sleep. That's how much I love it. But even with me doing it as a profession, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, I'm not going to be perfect at it. So we have to keep that in mind when we're setting goals. I was in a meeting yesterday, and the woman that I was meeting with yesterday, she told me that statistics show, and this is something I'm going to have to look up, but she said statistics show that you are more accomplished when you attempt to plan. You may not even have a full blown out plan, but when you bring some type of motivation or accountability in there with some of the things I'm going to talk about today, and you even attempt to make plans for your life, for your week, for your children, for your business, whatever the case may be, for your marriage, if you attempt to set goals in those particular areas, you're more than likely to reach those goals. And that kind of makes sense, right? Than someone who just lives day to day. Don't live day to day. Set goals so that you can set things in place to reach those goals. And Titania said that's so true on Facebook. Yes. So set goals and put goals in place. So just quickly a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know who I am or are joining me for the very first time, first of all, thank you for taking time to join me this morning. And I am Tramika Craddock. I am a planner, consultant, coach. That's what I brand myself as. I do event planning and event consulting. So my event planning company is Prestigious Events by Tramika Craddock. Sorry, I just get so fast and talking, and sometimes I just have to slow down so I can swallow, right? So I do event planning, event coordination. I do linen rentals, just day of coordination, things of that nature. I do that for corporate events, for celebration, intimate events where you have 20 people or less. I do that. Some of the events that I do may be a red carpet, a product launch, a business meeting, a business luncheon. Hey, Tay. Just those are different type of events. For a full list of events, you're more than welcome to go to my website, tramikacraddock.com. The end part of that, the third part of that, planner, consultant, coach, is coach. I'm a certified business and relationship coach. And what I do, and partly what I do with the Periscopes and the Facebook Lives, I'm coming from a coaching aspect where I help the area of a wife-mom-preneur. That's who I am, and that's who I brand myself as well. I'm a wife, a loving wife, in a marriage that works. Because we can be in marriages, but that doesn't mean that it works. And we want marriages that work. I'm a mother where I'm able to balance all the day-to-day tasks of motherhood. And we know that's a never-ending task. And then I also own and operate my own business. So for my coaching aspect, that's who I coach to. Those who are in those categories, or just women in general. If you're just in marriage, but you're not a business owner, or you're not a mother and you want your marriage to work, I can provide strategies and tips on that particular area. And then as well as business, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, or you're just a startup entrepreneur, or have been in a business for a while, sometimes we need to bring other people in to motivate us, to help us be accountable, to give us different tips, ideas, strategies. So that's who I am as Tramika Craddock. And if you want more information about that, you're more than welcome to go to my website, tramikacraddock.com. Now, y'all, my mom texted me, and she's usually on my Periscope, so I'm not sure why. She said she was eating breakfast and it was yummy. That's what she just texted me. She usually is on the Periscope. So let me just dive right into, now she just sent me a picture of the breakfast. So I get all these text messages and calls when I'm trying to do my live feed on Tuesday mornings. So let me just go right into some of the questions. The first question is, how do you stop yourself from procrastinating? And that's a very good question, because I feel like, I know a while back, weeks and probably months ago, we talked about this particular subject. And this is probably more in the area of entrepreneurship, if I'm correct. I don't know if that person is viewing with me right now, but I believe it's more in the area of business, just because what I know that this person is trying to pursue currently. What I would say to that, just briefly, now we need to sit down and come up with some specific strategies and tips that will work specifically for your particular life, where you're at in life. That is more than fine. You're more than welcome to reach out to me. Sometimes that's what it requires. But just simply what I would say to that person is, you have to find what motivates you, and then some type of accountability. And what I mean by the motivation, something as simple as putting sticky notes everywhere that you're in, your car, on your mirror in the bathroom, saying, hey, get busy. Hey, what are you going to do? Just reminding you, or some type of encouragement, sticky notes. I don't know if you all watch Being Mary Jane. I'm guilty. I do watch that show, and she has sticky notes everywhere. Sometimes they're quotes to encourage her. Sometimes they're, quotes to inspire her, or sometimes they're just reminders. That may be a strategy that you may be able to use, that's going to help motivate you to do what you need to do. The other big motivation that I always tell people, what's the bigger picture? If you set a goal, you know what your bigger picture is, you are the person that's holding you up from the bigger picture. So, for example, if the bigger picture is me one day owning my own restaurant where I'm going to be bringing in $300,000 per year, minimum. Okay, so you are standing in the way of that bigger picture. So you may need to do a vision board. You may need to write out the business plan, post it different places in your house where you'll be able to see it. Have it as a screenshot on your phone or on your laptop where you're constantly being reminded. This is some of the things that's going to motivate you. You're constantly being reminded of what the bigger picture is so you can push towards it. Procrastination, unfortunately, it dwells in a lot of us, but it's not good because you are the person who's standing in the way of your destiny. So think about what that bigger picture is, and then take baby steps. That's another tip or another strategy. Take baby steps. If you know that you're a procrastinator, start small. I remember talking about a previous broadcast. I talked about writing down a few things the night before that you can actually accomplish on the next day. Take small steps to where you can get bigger things done, but you start small just so that you're just always in a moving forward direction. So I hope that answered the question. The other thing is accountability. You may have a friend or a family member or a parent or even a adult child that can help you stay on task and be accountable so that you don't procrastinate. But sometimes, y'all, we have to take that extra mile and make the investment. You may need a coach. I don't know, how much people know about coaching, but having a coach, it will bless your life. It took my business to the next place by me doing some sessions with a business coach. So bringing in somebody, and like I said, just taking an extra step or extra mile to make that investment, because if your $1 million business is on the line, what is it to have a few strategy sessions and at a minimum cost so that you can get to the bigger picture, which is $1 million business? So again, having some type of accountability, motivation and accountability is what you would need. Those are some of the tips that I will put out there to answer that question about what's going to help you from procrastinating. And if you need additional assistance, again, feel free to reach out to me. Number 2 is a funny question. I did snack prepping, and I put a picture out there, and I talked about how much it costs and what the items were I purchased for my children in 30 days and a month. And I have 3 children, so I needed at least 90 snacks, and I did that with $16. So a question was, does the food go bad for snack prepping? And in particular, they were talking about the grapes. Does the grapes get mushy? And I did some carrots, and my response to them is, of course, I do refrigerate the produce. Most times in my particular household, the grapes and stuff they're the first thing to go. So no, I don't have an issue with my produce going bad at all. But if you think that if you, for example, I had like crackers, pretzels. If you have a child, you think that they will want to eat those items up first, what you can do is you can do like a jar where you can put all the items in there. This is just a tip or a strategy, and they can pull out an item. You can do that. Or you can direct them, hey, one day get something out of the refrigerator, 2 days get something out of the refrigerator, and then the other day get something off the shelf. Those are some of the tips or strategies that you can use in that regard. Or you can just not do as much produce. I love for my children to eat healthy, so fruits and vegetables, that's what I do. But there are other things that can sit on the shelf that are healthy as well. So I hope that answers that question. And then I actually had someone, let me jump to the next question. I talked about getting kids involved in chores. Can I give some examples? So some of the examples that I mentioned is I have my own chore schedule. So like I said, on Tuesdays I do laundry, Thursdays is my bathroom day, and the list goes on and on and on. And that's how I kind of spread out my chore days depending on what my schedule is and how I'm set up with clients and my kids' schedules and things of that nature. So what I do is I work my kids around that. So for example, even though Thursdays is my bathroom day, I may throw in 2 or 3 things for my children to do in the bathroom. That way the bathroom gets attention more than one time a week, right? So some of the examples that I have that I do for my children is they may have to sweep and mop the bathroom on a particular day. They may have to we have 3 bathrooms. They may have to clean all the sinks in the bathrooms on a particular day. Another example is we have an upstairs loft. So it's kind of like a mini living room if you're not familiar with that. And that's where our homework area is as well. We call it our Craddock Success Corner. So that's where they do the homework. They have some toys up there. They watch TV, you know, couch, all that up there. So, in our loft, it may be some days where someone has to clean the loft. And then on the very next day or the same day, a different person may have to vacuum the loft. And then when they vacuum, they may have to vacuum upstairs in the loft, and they may have to do it downstairs in the living room. So just different things like that. With my son, he has a typical boy chores, take out the trash. We have 3 bathrooms. He has to empty all the trash cans on those days. We do have shoes at our front door. So some days he may have to bring all the shoes upstairs. Those are just examples. So I hope that helps. What I would do, and this is a tip that I'm going to give, I would suggest doing things that you know that they can handle at whatever age your children are, whether you have 1, 3, 4, 5, however many. The more children, the better, right? Because they can do more chores. I'm just joking. But what I would do is see what areas you need help in. What are some of the small things that your kids can do? Because then that takes pressure off of you, so that you can submit to another area like cooking for the day, or, you know, getting bills paid, or whatever. The strategy of bringing kids in is, number 1, to definitely teach them responsibility. And then number 2, it helps you. So you want to build their chore list around things that can help you. For example, the little itty bitty things that I'm not able to get to that may not need to be done every week, but it needs to be done. My oldest daughter, she's in charge of cleaning all the mirrors in the house. That's little stuff that sometimes we never get to, or I don't have time to get to because I'm thinking of other things on bigger scales. But if I can put those on her chore list, it gets done, and then it teaches her responsibility as well. And then they have the typical things like, you know, after the weekend on Sunday nights, they have to make sure their room is clean. We don't want to go into a fresh new week and knowing that we're going to be busy on Monday with a junky room. So making sure your room is clean. Every night we have this thing where we call school check. School check is making sure I'm prepped for the next day for school. So that means taking out all your clothes. I'm talking about socks, shoes, making sure your snack is prepped, your folder, homework, all that's in your book bag tucked away in a place where you can just grab it in the morning. You never know what might happen, and you may wake up late or run late. So if everything's prepped the night before, that just makes it a little bit easier to flow in the morning. So I hope that answered the question in regards to chores. I only have time for one more, and I'll post the rest because I've been in for quite a while. Somebody asked me, and I told her I was going to answer on Topic Tuesday. What do I think, or what is the question was in regards to partnerships with other entrepreneurs and cross branding. So I just want to throw out a few tips in regards to that, but just so everyone knows what cross branding is, I thought it was a really good question. I actually discussed this question this morning with my husband. Cross branding is when 2 different branding companies, or just 2 companies, come together to make one product or service. So an example, because we were thinking like, okay, what are some of the examples? One example that I told my husband about this morning is the Eddie Bauer truck. So we know Eddie Bauer is a clothing line, and then you have a Ford, which is a automobile company. So they came together and they made an automobile truck. So another thing, I was trying to think of some other examples. Another example to give you, I used to work for American Express. I used to love that company. Best job ever when I was working for somebody. But another cross branding is there's an American Express Delta car. So Delta Airlines is, of course, an airline company. And then Delta actually does a lot of cross branding. And then you have American Express, which is a finance company or a credit card institution. They cross branded together. So the purpose of cross branding is to come together to just initiate more sales on a product. If you come together with another reputable company, you're more than likely to sell more items. And of course, there's a slew of other things that comes with it. But in my training, in my understanding, from when I went to school for business, that was what it was for the majority of the time. Just being able to come together, collaboratively, and actually more profit, more sales, right? So the question was, I guess, what do I think about it? I think it's awesome. I definitely think that there are pros and cons to it, but just pulling it down to layman terms as far as just working with other entrepreneurs, absolutely. I have a network on Facebook called She Networks, and at our next, even though She Networks is for mothers, wives, entrepreneurs, just women in general, I do want to pull some business people out of She Networks. So what I'm going to be introducing at our next gathering that we're going to have, which is in November, I'm in the process of planning that now, is a She Networks business corner where I actually encourage other entrepreneurs to work together. We can get more done if we work together and not compete with each other, but work together to reach our goals rather than, competing against one another and climbing on top of each other, which was one of the reasons why I even started She Networks. So absolutely, I think that you should definitely link up with other entrepreneurs, and I hope that this is answering your question. Definitely link up with other entrepreneurs in regards to working together. Again, there's pros and cons to this, and we could talk about this a little bit offline. I don't know if you have an ideal and you want to go ahead. I encourage you to go ahead and book a 15-minute free consultation that I do have on my website, so that way that we can start talking about some of these things. And if you want me, or you need me, or want me to coach you in that particular area, I'll be more than happy to do that. But working together with other entrepreneurs, for example, I'm a coach. I can link up with another coach that offers something maybe similar or different to what I had, and we could put on a conference together. Absolutely, you can link up with other entrepreneurs. There was just a few tips that I wanted to give with that. Is just to make sure that you negotiate. So in the conversation with my husband this morning, I was saying in the co-branding with, the cross-branding, with Eddie Bauer and Ford Explorer, I was like, well, do you think that is 50-50? And we were, just we just have these conversations all the time. And I don't think that the profits by all means were 50-50. So when you're in different contracts where you're going to be cross-branding, make sure that you negotiate and that is fair as far as how much profit is going to go to which company. Also, be clear on expectations. You definitely want to be clear on why you're coming together to do it. And what your expectations, what are you expecting to get out of cross-branding with another company, or again, like I said, with two different entrepreneurs? You want to be clear on the expectations. The last thing, and I wrote it down, is write out everything. Definitely make sure you have a contract and make sure you cover everything in the contract. And depending on what level it's on, you may even want to, or may have need of, bringing an attorney into the picture. So that's some tips on that. Again, if you want to talk more about that offline, I'll be more than happy to speak with you. If you need to reach out to me, you have any additional questions, you're more than welcome to reach me on my website, tramika.com. Also, Instagram and Facebook. Those three ways are about the best way to reach me, even though I am on several social media platforms. My website, Facebook, and Instagram. And that's it. That's all I had. I was looking down at my notes to see if I had anything else. If you are a woman and you're tuning in and you're not a part of She Networks, I definitely suggest that you go ahead and get connected with us on Facebook. If you just search She Networks, that's one of the networks that I started again on Facebook, and we're going to have our next meetup is going to be in November. Thank you so much, Nina. And thank you for all staying with me, because I always say 15 minutes and I always go over. And I didn't even get to all my questions. But I'm going to post the rest on Facebook because, again, I want to be able to help you all. So I hope something that I said definitely helped you, assisted you, or was able to move you to the next place of your success in whatever area of your life that you're seeking success in. So, again, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a productive rest of the week.